Well, here we are, folks. Happy stormy Saturday from Chicago Executive, and welcome to another VatSim event here on the channel. The big story today is weather. We are attempting to fly in the VatVenture VatSim event, and let me show you what we're talking about here. So, we're south of Oshkosh right now, and really wanting to fly VFR fairly well straight towards the Ripon intersection and catch the train tracks to Fisk, and then you figure out where you're going from there. ATC will tell you where you're heading. But as you can see, yeah, we got this little guy that's throwing a big kink in the works here, a big monkey wrench in things. So I still want to fly VFR, and I think what we're going to do instead of heading direct to Ripon is we're going to actually see if we can get a clearance, maybe down here to, I was thinking maybe DuPage or possibly, might even have to go this far south down to Aurora, and then pick up. There's actually some railroad tracks down here that we could follow and sort of make our decision. Maybe we could follow those guys, over here to Rochelle. Um, I'm not 100% sure just yet, but you get the idea. And then once we get to Rochelle, then we have, some decisions we could make. Maybe we take this set of tracks north up to Janesville. There's a little bit of obviously precipitation right here, but if it's just rain, we can handle that. It's you see light to moderate convective, though that's the worry. So we might have to go out a little bit further, but maybe even out here to Monroe. The nice thing about it, if we could stay in here, is we have all these railroad tracks that we could follow up to Madison. And I think if we get to Madison, that we're going to be sort of west of the storm, and from Madison, then it's not too difficult to fly into find Ripon, and then Ripon, then you're on the Fisk arrival. So that's kind of the plan. Again, we're going to see what ATC thinks of our plan, but we are at least for now gonna plan on departing VFR to actually to the southwest, so that we can loop around that storm and make our way north to Oshkosh. So let's hop in the A2A Cessna Skylane, the 182. Let's take a look at some of the different things we need to check on before we can leave. Our maintenance hangar says we're in good shape there. That's good to know. Our fuel and payload manager, let's go ahead just in case, we don't need to be maxed out here, because I am planning on taking 3 of my friends along with me, because why not, right? You're going to Oshkosh, you got to have some buddies. Top off the oil, and that looks fantastic. And then we can let's do a real quick, let's see if I can remember. Which one is it? Nope, that's not it. All right, let's do a quick walk around here and make sure we have everything that we need. We're gonna take the pitot cover off, and we are going to touch it. It's not going to be warm right now because I don't have anything turned on just yet. So we're going to check the baggage, make sure that's locked, and it is. Back to the tail, let's take off the tie down. We'll check the connections. And this does change, by the way. If you've never owned an A2A aircraft, you'll see the corrosion and stuff will kind of slowly show up, but that doesn't look too bad. Same thing with these connections here, and then yeah, those are nice and secure. Antennas, trim tab. Yeah, did we check the trim tab? I think we did. Yep. All right, keeping working our way around. Checking the flaps. They're nice and secure. The Again, the wear and tear well within the acceptable limits, and that maintenance hanger will tell you, by the way, if you have any issues that you need to address, and you have to address them or the airplane sometimes will not fly. So you can't just let it go. It's good to check. Right wing, we're going to take the tie down off. We're going to check the left vent opening right there. It doesn't look like there's anything obstructing it. We'll take the chocks off. Tires are looking good still. Check the fuel, nice and clean. Check the amount, and again we filled it up almost to the top. Save a little bit of weight. Nose, checking the static opening here, and yeah, that looks good. Check the fuel here under the nose, and again nice and clean. Working our way around. Propeller looks good. It did actually give me, I forgot to do a walk around one time on this plane, and it told me afterwards that someone had left a rag in one of these intakes, and I'm like, holy cow. And I don't remember if it affected my performance or not, but yeah, so I always try to go around and make sure that we clear those out. If there is anything, there's nothing there right now. Again, checking oil, nice and full, good light brown color. Left static opening, nothing is in the way there. And again, taking a look, fuel quantity is good on the left side. Fuel quality is good. The pitot tube looks good. Take the chocks off of that wheel. Remove the tie down. Again, checking the stall warning vane and making sure there's nothing in the way here. And then checking the wingtips. Again, all those connections and joints are looking good. And then one last check here. Yep, the flaps are secure and everything in there is looking pretty good. Okay, well, there's the walk around, and we are ready. Boy, the wind or the rain is really coming down. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started, and with any luck we'll get our clearance to the southwest. And right now, I'm going to be honest with you, the weather is not in our favor. 350 at 2-1, and that's really pushing the limits of what this plane can do in terms of taking off. And you know, we do have, the nice thing about Chicago Executive is there's like 27 runways, and so we do have a runway 3-4 that we can depart from, and we are actually parked right over here, kind of hangar 5 and 6, so it wouldn't be too bad of a taxi. Probably get something along the lines of maybe Delta cross runway 6, Lima 5 or something like that. So you know, it's like I say, it's right on that edge of what you would probably try to do, but again, it looks like there's just a little tiny bit of a window here that if we could get going, and this is going to be the kicker, is if they will allow us to depart to the southwest, because that really gets you into that O'Hare airspace. And so if that's a no-go, well, we'll have to rethink things and figure something else out, but that you can at least have an idea of what it is I'm attempting to do. And let's go ahead and work through our checklist. We'll go ahead, some of this stuff is kind of nice if we just take care of it from this menu. We'll turn the battery on, we'll open up the cowl flaps, we'll make sure that the fuel is turned on, and that'll be good for now. The battery's on, so the beacon can come on. We're gonna push the prop all the way in. We're going to put a little bit of a crack in the throttle, and let's see if we can flood this engine. Alright, lifting it up, just a little bit of fuel flow there, not long, about 3 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds it says. Turn that off and let's find out. Hey, alright. Slowly increase the mixture to full, and I think we can close that guy. Let's go ahead, just come back in here. Temperature right now, I mean, we're 75 degrees, so we don't need really anything, but I think I will put the defroster on just because I think the condensation might occur if we don't. And we'll go ahead and just add some light. It's, you know, it's middle of the afternoon, kind of early evening-ish, and so it can sometimes be a little bit tough to see. And let's just make sure that we're able to see everything that we need to see. Let's go ahead, we'll get the generator going and the avionics going, and let's work through the rest of our checklist here. We're all the way down, we've got everything rolling. Okay, AV master, radio's on. Okay, our flight plan, again, we don't really have anything just yet. We are going to be departing roughly, we can put this in, by the way, just we do have a DePage VOR that we can track toward if we need to, even though, you know, here's DePage. That's an active VOR that we can track, 1084. We'll continue on if we have to down here to Chicago Aurora, but let's put in 1084 just so we can have something if we need it. 1084. We'll swap that over. We do have Chicago Center online, 13487, and we're going to have to talk to him to get our clearance. And cross your fingers, wish us luck. I've never really attempted a clearance request like this before, so I have no idea whether or not this is going to be acceptable. We are departing, if it's a southwesterly departure, I think I have filed 2,500.
Maintain 4,000, turn left heading 180.
So we'll put that in there, and not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but if we get this clearance, we'll be out there heading out at about 234 heading. Get all that. That's pretty much our flight plan. We don't have anything just yet. That's not saying we may not have to file something IFR, but for now, this is what we're going with. And let's see what else here. Yeah, let's get our 2997. Okay. Let's go talk to center and see about that clearance.
Continue on red traffic, runway 27, will contact approach 120.7, or 9408, hold 72. Sorry. 7887 Delta Lima, turn left heading 160. Heading 160, so Delta Lima. 959 Heavy, turn left heading 120, intercept runway 9 right, localizer. Left heading 120 to intercept 9 right, localizer, and that's the guy.
Center, Skylane 516 Delta Mike on the ground, Chicago executive.
Good.
Yes, sir. We'd like to request VFR departure to the southwest for weather. Let's see what he thinks.
And just give us a minutes. We've got the approach coming online. We can communicate. Just stay on the frequency for now, please. Sorry for the delay.
Okay, not a problem. 516 Delta Mike. Okay, that kind of cut in and out. I don't know if you heard that or not, but basically we've got approach that's going to be coming online, and
United 959 Heavy is 8 miles, 9
he'll
miles,
be able
7,
to
maintain 4,000 to establish on the
kind
low
of
ground
help out
for the
Center,
Northwest
who's currently controlling. Let me show you.
to establish for the ILS 9
Currently
right,
controlling this entire area. So a lot going on out here, and you can see we do have approach that's getting ready to take care of business a little closer to these airports, Midway,
Chicago Center,
O'Hare, and Chicago Executive. So we'll let him come online as soon as we see him pop up on our VatTastic, our V-Pilot, I should say. We'll go ahead and contact him.
Request IFR clearance O'Hare to Oshkosh today.
So let's see, while we got a minute, let me just kind of fill you in on the last week. I've been away a little bit, had to take a trip. My wife had a medical procedure that was needing to get done, and I really appreciate everybody who tossed a prayer or two up. The procedure went very well. It was a long trip, very long trip back home for her, but she was a trooper, and she's home resting. And so I appreciate everybody who was thinking about her, and I mean it went as well as it could go. It was one of those deals where we live in a fairly rural area, so we have to drive about 6 hours for this type of medical procedure, and then coming home was, needless to say, it was a rough one, but we made it, and that's where we've been. That's where I've been, I should say. So it's good to be back. She's actually up resting right now, and I'm on call, so there is a possibility that this entire stream could be scrapped if she texts me and says, hey, I need something. So we'll see. Alright, I see approach online now, so let's go ahead. We'll head over to talk to him.
Delta Lima, approach 119.0. You should be at 5,000. Not sure why it's on 800.
Alright, we'll jump over here and see what he has to say. And Chicago approach. Good evening, 516 Delta Mike. He probably hasn't even had a chance to look at our flight plan yet.
516 Delta Mike, Chicago first then.
Yes, sir. We're on the ground, Chicago Executive, trying to head to Oshkosh, but we'd like to request VFR to the southwest to see if we can get around this weather system.
Delta Mike, ready for taxi now?
Affirm.
6 Delta Mike from Lake 34, taxi via Delta Lima, cross runway 6.
Runway 34, Delta Lima, cross runway 6, 516 Delta Mike. Okay, that's kind of what we were thinking, so that's good.
Chicago approach, United 810, short at 10 left at Delta Delta, ready for departure.
Let's just make sure we have everything lined up that we need before we head out.
United 810, Chicago.
I think we do here. Just
runway 10 left at Delta Delta, clear for takeoff. Flapping 360.
Let's see. Clearance obtained. Altitude, altimeter, transponder code. We don't have a transponder code just yet. We will squawk mode Charlie.
Sure, approach United 959 heavy on final ILS.
And let's go. Let's go taxi.
Heavy, Chicago approach 10202.
Delta was over here. There's somebody else getting ready to fight this weather. We're not the only crazy suckers out there, I guess. I better turn some lights on here. Taxi, nav, strove, and we'll go ahead and turn the pitot heats on just in case we run up into some super cold weather. We're only going to 2,500 with any luck. Man, oh man, it looks... Boy, that may be a pushing it. This may be not the smartest thing that I have done in my simming career, but yeah. We'll get down there and we'll see what happens. And again, I think once we get down south a little bit, the weather looks like it's looks like it breaks, and
to approach.
then I think we'll be okay.
7 Delta Lima will be to at 5,000 for the beach road, coming on your left.
Number 7 Delta Lima.
Let's get
11 o'clock, 10, also Purple
let's get down Delta here. We're going to cross
Field, 7 Delta Lima.
runway 6, which is coming up again. We just kind of were right over there a minute ago.
United 10 Chicago departure, radar contact, altitude rating.
Get down here, we'll go through our run up, and we will be on our way.
For 5,000,
A10, climb maintain 15,000, clear.
Runway is clear. Oops, I just about drove off the runway. Don't do that. There's Lima 4.
Number 7 Delta Lima, descend maintain 2,000.
The wind is an issue. There's no doubt about it. And it's going to be. But
visual on the left, 7 Delta Lima.
let's see what we are able to do here. All right, run up procedure here. Brakes are coming on. Windows closed. Mixture rich. Flight controls free and correct. Since I really can't look around, I will hop outside and cheat just a little bit. Push the throttle up, 1700.
Cleared Oshkosh, rate of for 10 5, climbing 5,000, expect foot, or 10,000.
Let's check the mag drop here.
Departure frequency is with you, squawk 3, 1,
Alright,
0,
that was
1,
good.
Clipper 832.
Back to both.
Clip right, 2 read back correct.
Now the right and both, that looks good. Cycle the prop lever.
We'll call for sex, Clipper 32.
Okay, that all looks good.
959, taxi via Alpha to the rapid day.
Temps and pressures all staying in the green.
6 Romeo with
Altitude is set.
correct.
And
That's affirmative, 6 Romeo.
flaps are going to be set. We will be on nav mode. Our departure again, if we're able, we're going to be taking off to the north. We're going to be making a left-hand turn. Actually, I don't know that we'll be making a left-hand turn. We'll receive a vector and hopefully will allow us to depart
I'm going to say 15,000, that's 10.
234-ish, kind of southwest-ish. We just finished the run-up. We're ready for departure. 6 Delta Mike.
Number 6 Delta Mike, wind 26013, correction, wind 02013-26. Runway 34, clear for takeoff, make a right downwind departure.
Clear for takeoff 34. We'll make a right downwind departure 516 Delta Mike. Oh boy, okay. Well, let's see how it goes here. Let's have some fun. Thanks for joining us. If you are over hitting the chat a little bit, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of focused on seeing if we can get this thing airborne, and it's already a challenge for me to fly this airplane, but to do it in conditions like this could be very, very challenging. Could be more than I really can do. The other thing that's going to be tricky about this is the weather may really crush my frame rates here, so let's hope for the best. Landing light is on. Power to full. Getting pushed around a little bit. There's 60. Rotate. Oh, a little wiggly, little wiggly. Oh boy. Stall horn. Oh, never a good sound to hear when you're taking off. Man, oh man, we're not going to get 2,500, are we, guys? Okay, flaps are coming up. You're going to turn right crosswind. And we're where we don't want to be. We are IMC almost completely. We're definitely not VFR. Alright, let's pull the power back just a little bit here. Still climbing.
Welcome to Chicago.
Do have contact with the ground here, but we are not 500 feet below the cloud layer. Not even close, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, boy. We're really getting thrown around here as well. Okay, we're going to turn the heading mode on. We're going to try to get this leveled off. Actually, I don't want to climb any higher. At this point, man, we may have to pick up a pop-up IFR. Alright. So, right crosswind. So I think we're able to turn on the downwind now. Clear of everything here. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't think I was cleared for that. I was cleared for the right crosswind. And I'm going to stay on that track here, at least initially. Let's find out. You know, I think honestly, yeah, we should be able to stay outside. And looking at my updated weather map, I think we can. I think we could just make a left-hand turn right here and be clear of the worst of it, if that's okay. Okay, on nav, appreciate the help, 6 Delta Mike. Alright, we're doing a little bit of a yo-yo thing here, which is not good. That's the only thing that I'm a little worried about. Let's get things settled down here. Oh boy. Leveled off. We are going to try to... We're almost to 2,500. Still have some contact with the ground here. We're on a very, very not safe departure, to say the least. But we're going to head north, and I'll show you here in just a second what I'm seeing. And so we almost are going to be able to just kind of get back on our normal plan here. Alright, let's get, just to make things a little bit easier. We're descending. We're too low right now. We should be 2,500 because we are departing westbound. But as you can see, it's not your traditional departure. We're going to kind of get maybe even a little bit west here. Looking at my weather radar courtesy of Active Sky and just sort of plotting my course here. At the same time, just trying to make sure that we stay as level and straight as we can. The nose is bobbing up and down, as you can see, and that's been the big challenge so far.
Make the next left and then another left up the double tango. 7, that's okay, so the next left, not this. This one right in front of you.
All right.
So that's Lima, thank you very much.
Got ourselves a pretty substantial headwind, I think, right now. But we're making decent power, and airspeed, despite the stall horn warning that you just heard a second ago, the airspeed is hanging in there.
32, no problem. Which way is your nose facing? It is facing to the west.
Don't know if it's quite ready, stable enough to be autopilot mode or not. Let's just kind of take a look if we can. And again, we are just want to level off here.
Okay, runway 9 right, Alpha.
We're going to try to punch through, and let me show you kind of what I'm seeing here real quick. We're semi-stable. So we were going to come down here, but I think honestly we took off, we made a right crosswind departure. We're somewhere right here. If we can just kind of maintain sort of a northeasterly heading, I think we're going to come right out of the worst of the weather. Now we'll still be in the precip, but I'm thinking that the wind and the lightning and all that good stuff will be past us.
Negative. Beaver. BVR. 917.
We will see here.
That makes more sense. Beaver 917.
We have not quite made it to 2,500. We do have contact with the ground, but we are clearly not 500 feet below the cloud level. So, turned out it would have been a great day for an IFR flight plan after all. And we can still pick one up if we want to. We're going to have a heck of a time if we get much higher picking up landmarks and things like that. Just going to kind of continue to go here until we get through the worst of it, and then I will talk to you about the initial plan and how we were going to find our way basically up north to Ripon and then into Oshkosh. But let's go ahead and fly the plane right now. We're starting to bob and weave a little bit. We may have to come off autopilot. The Skylane actually can handle quite a bit of wind, and right now, you know, we're looking at the wind's only 17 knots, and it has a crosswind rating of, you know, at least 15 to 20. So we're within that limit. Now, does that mean you would fly on a day like this? Yeah, probably not. I mean, if it was not for it wasn't for the event, I don't think I would be actually flying. And the other reason I chose to fly from Chicago Executive is because I had some scenery there. I wanted to check it out. And you know, honestly, if you were coming from, you know, further to the west, you know, maybe somewhere closer to Minneapolis, yeah, you might have been okay. But all right, I'm cleaning up my flight plan that I modified a minute ago, and I want to show you sort of what the original plan is. I think we've kind of got through the worst of the wind. Well, we're right on the edge, just about there. There still are some cells that are here and there and around us, but I think we're, for the most part, shooting a little gap here that will be doable. Oop, we're getting some text messages coming in here. All right.
Alright, clear for takeoff, fly heading 360,
Not quite ready to show you just yet. Here's the story. I should be.
Showing 620, ready for purchase charter.
Oh man, my passengers are probably not real happy with me right now, are they?
Clear to push 620.
Chicago approach, November 16 to Papa.
That's ominous, isn't it?
Number 616
Here's where we're heading for. All right. Well,
616.
we're hanging in there. We'll make it.
Ready taxi vehicle for northwest now. Number 616 Sugar Papa, runway 3 for taxi via Echo Alpha T15, cross runway 30.
I think, though, it would be wise for us to just head a little bit further to the west, try to get a little bit left of this little dark cell. Hard to tell what it really looks, if it looks like as bad as it really truly is or not, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah, everybody you can hear is filing IFR. I'm the only dumb one that's trying to do it VFR.
And Chicago approach, November 5.
And I probably could climb up and out, get up about 10,000 and be above everything here, but where's the fun in that, right? Okay.
Tango Delta, I don't have that. Would Tango Golf be okay, or Delta?
So let me show you what initially the thought was here, and we'll kind of keep an eyeball on. Oops. Hopefully, maybe not. Let me turn off. Let me turn this layer off here because it's tough to see the weather. Okay. So initially, when we were just trying to go from executive up to Ripon, we had a couple of things that we were looking for. We were looking for this lake, Fox Lake. We were going to pass just to the right of Fox Lake. Now we're actually a little bit, I think, a little bit more east of that, so we may or may not see Fox Lake. If we do, that'll be awesome. But after Fox Lake, then we were looking at hopefully running into a couple of these little, you know, Mukwanago, and there were some more lakes up here, and this is, I can't see these, Okonomowak. I mean, all these little communities and lakes. We're basically just going to kind of thread our way up through there, and then eventually we were going to come, and this is a lake that we're familiar with. This is Beaver Dam Lake, and it's a pretty big water feature, and we felt like if we could at least get in a visual visual range of that, we'd be in good shape. Then Ripon, of course, is a town, so I mean it's pretty simple to see. And here at Waupun, you actually start to pick up some railroad tracks. In fact, the railroad tracks you intercept a couple different times. You have one coming out of here that you first see before you get to that Okonomowak, whatever. Ooh, and we are over a body of water. I think we must be kind of in this area here, which is good. You hit them again, and then you hit them a third time, and you could actually here at Hurricane, you could pick up that set of tracks and follow it basically all the way up to Ripon, which is kind of what we were looking for. Is if we saw Beaver Dam, we hopefully would be somewhere around this little town, and then we could shoot those railroad tracks basically all the way up into Oshkosh, because that's when you get to the Ripon intersection. That's essentially what you do. You turn to the northeast and you follow the tracks to Fisk, and then from Fisk you monitor Oshkosh, and they tell you basically which way you need to go. So I was going to show you some of the other stuff here. If you still want to do it, I mean, hey, there's plenty of time. It's The event just started about a half an hour ago, and it goes until I think 22. No, it started at 2200. It goes till 0100 Zulu, so it's a 3-hour long event. You need to go to vatusa.net, or you need to get on Vatastic and pull up the NOTAM. So because there are some things you need to keep in mind. Hey, see, here we go. We're starting to break out. Might have half a shot at getting where we need to get after all. And I don't want to mess around too much by showing you these NOTAMs, because I do need to be paying attention. Get some of our landmarks. We're over one of the cities, and I'll be looking for railroad tracks here soon. But I think I've got a second I can show you this. So the VatVenture gives you, first of all, it gives you some scenery. Sky Lounge has made some scenery, and you might need that because it has, the runway that you're coming in on has the different colored dots, and they may require you to land on, one of those dots. Sometimes they have simultaneous arrivals and departures too. But anyway, you're going to have to have that kind of in mind. But again, you need to get the ATIS from 2590, which we will, and then you monitor Fisk approach 120.7. They will call you, and they do if you're familiar with the arrival, it is it's one of those deals where you don't respond back. They tell you, hey, they see your airplane, and then they ask you to wag the wings if you respond, or if they're talking to the right airplane, basically. Well, it's tough to see that on VatSim, so what they ask you to do is, oh boy, I'm all over the place now. What they ask you to do in VatSim is they ask you to just push the ident button, and that way they know they're talking to the right person here, and or they have the right aircraft. So I'm excited to hear what that sounds like. Nose has gotten down a little bit, speed got up, but we were getting a little bit loose there, so I had to take it back over off the autopilot. Want to make sure we stay within kind of our visual of the ground here, even though we're a little below 2,500. Alright, I do want to start heading back to the north here. I'll show you where I think we are. Alright, hold our altitude there, we'll head north, and I think we've got, so we just passed a nice, good sized lake, and we've got a little bit of a stream here running along the side. I think we just went past Fox Lake and Grass Lake. Let me see if I can find those. Kind of hard to see. Again, I've got the weather turned on, so let me tell you where I think we are, which is kind of dangerous. So I think we right now are kind of, I think that's where we just basically, we're kind of flying right up the side here. I think we just went right over this lake here, which would indicate that we are kind of past the worst of it here. Now again, at this point, if we wanted to, and I was not paying attention, we could have picked up a set of railroad tracks, and we could have headed out to the west, and we may still do that depending on, again, we just got kind of that nasty light to moderate convective layer here. We may do that still, but I think we're gonna, at least for now, we're gonna continue, because it looks to me like it's breaking a little bit here. So these are the Salem Lakes, I believe, and we can more or less follow. Actually, we could follow this river here, and that would take us kind of where we need to be. It's a little bit west, of course, but it's a good, solid navigation aid, and the weather looks to be a little bit better over there too. So let's head that direction. I don't know what the name of this river is. I don't have a detailed enough map, but I feel very comfortable that that's the Salem Lake area. And all right, let's stay on this little waterway. Yes, I am seeing the lightning over there, but it's sort of lightning all over the place, folks. Let's be honest. And yes, I also noticed that we are down to 1,500. But I think we're okay. We need to be, when we get to Ripon, we need to be, I feel like I can bring this over again now. Sorry, I kind of rushed it a little bit. We need to be at the Ripon intersection. We need to be at 90 knots and 1,800. I think we're going to be fine if the weather doesn't get any worse than this. And then we proceed single file over the railroad tracks to Fisk, and it's northeast. So we're coming from this direction right now. We're going to find the town of Ripon. We're going to find these railroad tracks. We're going to head northeast, and we're going to get right here to Fisk. And there is basically two options that you're going to be given. Number one is you're going to be told just to continue on the railroad tracks toward the town, or you may be given the Fisk avenue transition, which is just this road basically, and there's a big microwave tower that you have to stay north of there, and it all depends on traffic, and it all depends on the weather and all of that good stuff. And here we go, folks. I think we broke out. I don't think we need to go really too much further west, because I think all this moisture is heading off to the east, and I think the rest of the trip is going to be fairly good. Let's just get a sneak peek at Oshkosh. So surface winds 090 at 9, so it looks like a runway 9, which is a straight in approach, and 8 knots, that's not too bad. Some showers. We've got 10 miles of viz, which is good, and it looks like the cloud layer is above us at 11,000, which is even better. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, well, thanks for hanging in there. Hopefully you haven't thrown up 5 times, and we're going to go ahead and start climbing back up, and let's see if we can at least get up to 1,800 here. We still have a river that we're following. Been having some fantastic ATC, and I'm sorry, I've kind of been jabbering over the top of it. I think I'm going to start to just get quiet and let you listen to the Chicago area ATC, and because I think it's gonna get pretty good here in just a little bit.
Another X-ray Alpha, do you need time for a lock? Be ready to go at the end.
I do. I'm hearing a lot of different stuff on frequency. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to need a minute to figure that out too.
Okay, 1 X-ray Alpha, that's fine. Just 1 X-ray Alpha, hold short of Romeo in case we need to move you.
Alright, I think I got it figured out. I'm good to go for lineup and
Okay, 1 X-ray Alpha, wind 0408, runway 9 over right, clear for takeoff, fly heading 360.
Oh, I'm sorry, I still need to do the run-up, but it's my problem with hearing a bunch of stuff.
Okay, cancel takeoff clearance, short of runway 9 right at Romeo.
Holding short, 9 right at Romeo, 1 X-ray Alpha.
1 X-ray Alpha, you IFR or VFR?
VFR.
Thank you.
So I just realized, kind of in the
Beaver 917.
middle of everything, that I had muted my mic when I thought I was actually talking. So I did a lot of explaining there about the
Climb number 7, Mike Tango.
NOTAM basically heading into Oshkosh. That was all you missed, really. And you saw me pointing out. Oh my goodness, the weather's coming up around us here. You saw me pointing out a waterway that we were following. We just had gone by a set of lakes called the Salem Lakes, and there's a nice little stream that takes us kind of where we need to go. Now I've lost that stream because we flew into the cloud layer here, but I'm just maintaining the general course here. We're gonna come across one of two things here pretty soon. We're gonna come across Beaver Dam Lake, or we're gonna come across some railroad tracks. And either way, that's what we're gonna track, kind of north to the Ripon intersection. So yeah, I don't know how much of the narrative came through and how much of it was cut off, but that's essentially what I was yammering on about. So you really didn't miss a whole lot. If there is something that you are curious about and you're watching, you can ask, and I'm happy to help out. But I thought I was out of the weather, and now here it is, kind of coming up around us again. So yeah, we may not be quite out of the woods just yet. We're trying to get to 1800 here, because we have to be stable at 1890 knots at Ripon. So I thought there for a little bit we might be able to get up to 2500, but it's really not looking like that's going to happen. So yeah, we're just continuing to track. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna pick up either the Beaver Dam reservoir, or we're gonna, and if we're past that, which I don't think we are, we're gonna start to see some railroad tracks that are heading northwest. But if let's say we're a little past, maybe we're a little bit west of course, which is a distinct possibility. There are two very, very big lakes, Puckaway and Green Lake, which you can't miss, and those will be indications for us that it's time to turn east, because they are they're just adjacent to the town of Ripon, and that's the intersection that we're shooting for. So I'm going to go ahead and do something real quick here. Let's show you what I'm doing. Pull up the airport diagram, and again, the winds are 090, so we're going to be coming in here on runway 9er. And I think what we're going to do, we got to pick up the ATIS here in just a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and there is a VOR runway 9 approach. Okay, let's get that frequency. 111.8. Put that in. Oh no, sorry, that is not what we want. 111.8. Oh, it's in already. Yeah, because we did a practice run earlier. So we'll put that in. Hopefully that guy will come alive here pretty soon. And then it's even lined up 090. So we'll use that kind of as our VOR aid, I guess, as our approach aid, even though I'm expecting a visual approach. Boy, I could shoot that gap right there and feel much better about life. I think I will. Let's head that direction. And I kind of have a feeling that we just drifted a little bit west of course anyway, so we're kind of aiming for those big lakes that we were talking about. Green Lake and Puckaway Lake.
And one extra alpha.
Here's what I mean.
Turn left.
I think we kind of have drifted out here, and we may be still able to pick this up. If we see this lake with this railroad track, we'll know we're at Beaver Dam, and we can actually. Beaver Dam is basically a straight north shot here. We won't follow any tracks because they don't lead us necessarily where we want to go. But when we hit that, if we recognize the town, the lake, the railroad tracks, we'll head straight north. We should be able to pick up Ripon, or at least this railroad track that's running generally north. All right, and the farther we get, the better the view, which is good. Okay, so we've got the VOR frequency for runway 9 plugged in. We do have to get the conditions, the ATIS, and even though we looked at it on active sky, I don't think it's a bad idea to tune it in here.
300, 45,000.
Let me see if I can find the frequency now. Alright, 2590.
Clear drive mobile, climb maintain 630.
1259er.
37 right tank is 1,700 kilometers.
We might be a little out of range. 12590. Yep, not hearing anything just yet as far as ATIS goes, so we'll go back to center. We are VFR, we're not flight following, we're just VFR at this point. And here in just a little bit, I don't know that we don't have DME active yet or not. Do I have it turned on? That could be important. Yeah, it's on. It's just not. We're too far away yet to pick that up. Okay, that's fine. I feel like I'm ready to attempt to climb back up to 2,500. I'd like to be able to say we made it at least one time. Let's see if we can get up there.
Number 7 Foxtrot Alpha, clear direct vector, climb maintain 8,000.
Clear to battery 8,007. Go.
So looking around here, and I haven't flown down here a bunch, but I've tried to get down here 3 or 4 times just so I can familiarize myself with the scenery. Not necessarily, you know, you're not necessarily getting a super accurate, you know, Google Earth version of the scenery. But what I found is that the Orbix Global, which is what I have, has done a decent job of, you know, modeling most of the key things, like railways obviously are something, bridges, and lakes for the most part, and then some of the major rivers. So, so there are some things that you can pick up here, and I'm just looking around right now because I'm not 100% sure if we are north of Beaver Dam just yet. I'd be surprised because we haven't been really going that long. It's about an hour trip if you are able just to make the straight shot, and we've been farting around a little bit, so I would be surprised because we're only about 30 minutes or so really into our flight. So I don't think we're there just yet. We'll keep our eyes peeled. Again, we're looking for a lake that has, so like say this is Beaver Dam Lake, there'd be a town here, and then there'd be a railroad track that runs right along kind of the east and the north of the lake. And so if we see that, We know where we're at. These are little small, kind of spotty lakes that there's a possibility. Gosh, it's hard to see with the weather turned on. Okay, I'm going to turn that weather back off. And let's see if... Where the heck are we? So I'm seeing kind of a... Here's a possibility. We level off at 2,500. Yes, we did. Okay. So here's a possibility of just some little lakes here, and we talked about that. Okonomowak. I don't know if that's how you say it. As being a potential railroad that we could intercept if we needed to, but that was when we were thinking we might have to go kind of more over the Madison area, but there is a chance that that's kind of what we're seeing here with all these smaller lakes, but I'm not seeing the town, so I don't feel super confident saying that that's what we have right there. Alright, and this is good news. Our VOR has come alive, and we're about 50. Okay, so that helps a bunch. We're 50 some miles still away from Oshkosh. So yes, we are still south of the Beaver Dam Reservoir. We should be coming up on that. I see this is a pretty major two-laned road here. So let me kind of look and see if I can ascertain where that would be.
635, have a good rest of your night, 6-0.
November Oscar, sorry, Tango Foxtrot Oscar, November Delta. Runway 4 right, taxi via Yankee 4, Yankee.
Interesting. Alright. I'm going to turn back to the north just a little bit, and I'll tell you why.
Out for a short while we're solving a technical issue.
I'm seeing this kind of interstate highway heading to the west, essentially. And I think, whoops, I just zoomed out. Darn it, where the heck is it? There we go. Alright, let me show you where I believe we are. I think that this is the road that I'm looking at here, and I think this is the corner there where we were just at. This is Interstate 94, which means that I should have a little bit of a lake and city off to the right. And as I look over there, that is what I'm seeing. In fact, multiple lakes, right? And that's what I'm seeing. So I think we are actually a little too far west. So that's why I've headed back to the north, and I think we'll be okay. We got a little bit of precip action up there, but I think we'll be okay. And yeah, that's the fun of VFR flying, right? You get a distance about 50 miles. You kind of count roughly from where you're at. Again, it's the entire trip, including going through Ripon and Fisk, is 127 nautical miles. So right now we're roughly halfway between. So that's kind of what I did. As I started looking on the map at about halfway, and then you just sort of zoom in, and pretty soon you see I-94 or I-95, I don't remember which one it was, and that makes a lot of sense here for where we are. So a north heading, we should have, well, we have this little river here. I think this is going to connect us to a lake called Sinisippi Lake. So we'll keep our eyes on this little waterway here. I don't know how well it'll be modeled all the way up, but we should have a lake coming up. And the next thing that we should see is railroad tracks. And there's a town, so this is what I'm expecting. I guess I don't need to just explain it, I can show you. So we just flew by here. We're heading north now. So we're following, I don't know how well you can see this, but there's this little lake, or this little creek that runs up here into this lake, Riggleman Lake. And what we're expecting here is just past that, there's this town of Hurricane, and we should have a railway intersection that we can grab, and if we can find that, that is something we can follow distinctively all the way up to Ripon. And actually what I'll do is, if we do locate that town, I think that's when I'm going to go ahead and head over to or request to head over to monitor Fisk approach. I'm not 100% sure when I should do that, to be totally honest with you, but I think that'll be as good a time as any to request that.
908 by Alpha 3, Hotel 1, Hotel Romeo.
So keeping our eyes peeled, I almost think I see a waterway there. We have sort of lost our, oh no, there's our little river, still wandering its way up, which is good.
Chicago First, good evening, American 1018, information, Paul, fire far to Atlanta. American 1018, Chicago departure declared to Atlanta Airport, O'Hare 5 departure, radar vector Comiskey filed, maintain 5000, expect by level 35010, minutes after departure.
Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about this being the lake that we're aiming for, and you can see the amount of arrivals. I think I'm going to see if it's time for me to go over and monitor approach. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and just head over to approach 120.7. Alright, here we go, folks. Let's hear what it sounds like. We're going to be catching railroad tracks on our way up. Again, we don't contact approach, we just monitor.
Oshkosh landing, runways 9 and 3/6, ages 9 and 11 of the NOTAM. Approach starts from Ripon. The fallen aircraft is similar type, at similar speed, half mile and trail. Shouldn't be that busy tonight, guys, but if you need to do any S turns over, under, side by side, if it's not going to work, break off the approach, pick another aircraft to follow, similar type at similar speed, and follow in the half mile and the hole.
Alright, there you go, half-mile trail. Try to find a similar aircraft of similar speed. So we're looking for some Cessnas, and just kind of uh-oh, what happened here? Did I lose my... Oh, there we go. So I'm going to show you this real quick, because I think I'm going to have railroad tracks that I need to start following. But here's what we have. So we're here. We're obviously a Skylane. Here's another Skylane. So it'd be good for me to follow someone like him. There's another one. Those would be good for us to follow. 737, yeah, not so much. Here's a couple of 8 CABs. I don't know what that is. I have to look that up. Here's a 747. What the? I don't know what that is. So I'm going to be looking for, hopefully, I might be able to slide in behind this guy here, November 317 Kilo Alpha, and we'll see what happens. But that's the idea. And if you start to overtake somebody, you have to break off the pattern and find somebody else that's close to your speed and follow them in. So, all right, we are looking. I'm feeling very good about this being the lake that we were shooting for. Sinisippi, right? And we're gonna find
We got a highway sensor, mile and a half south of Fisk, rocket wings. Like maybe a skyhawk, red and white in color. There you go, nice rock there, awesome job. Turn right, follow the east-west road for a left base from a 36, tower 12.6, 12 about gosh.
Where in the world am I going here? All right, so I'm just going to be quiet and I'm going to let you enjoy the Oshkosh approach, because that's the bulk of the experience here, and we're gonna just grab onto our railroad tracks and follow our tracks up to Ripon. That's the rest of the time for us, and then we're gonna head into Fisk and have some fun. So thanks for joining us. Enjoy the ATC.
Aircraft. There you go, sir. Nice rock. Great job. Follow the railroad tracks northeastbound for a right base runway 9er, monitor tower 118.5 up smash Oshkosh. My long easy, that's about a half mile south of Biscuit. Just keep following those railroad tracks northeastbound for a right base runway 9, towers 18.5. Long easy, took your following the east-west road for runway 36 if you prefer 36, and follow the aircraft in front of you. The long easy on frequency.
Well, I'm having a hard time keeping this thing stable, so I'm going to hand fly it a little bit. Again, there's not going to be a lot I need to say. I think you get the gist of things, and it should get just that much better the closer we get. So let's see how she goes here. Let's see if I can get it down to 1800 and slow down to 90. That's kind of our next challenge here. I don't think that's our railroad track. The railroad tracks, they're pretty distinctive. Maybe we haven't quite got to the town yet. Well, now I'm thinking maybe that is, because they're kind of a light gray, and that would be the one heading west, and that would be the one I want to follow. Well, you know what? This is the Hurricane Marsh National Wildlife Refuge, so yeah, we don't want to go there. That's a little bit too, kind of a little too east, of course. So let's go ahead. We'll go grab that railroad track looking thing. We'll see if it is in fact the railroad track we want to follow. Looks a little different than the one though that comes out of Ripon, but let's just grab a hold of it for a little bit and see if it takes us where we want to be. And again, if we miss, if we're a little off, we're going to run into to Green Lake and that'll, you know, that's a humongous lake. I mean, like I said, you almost can't miss it. And we're only 30 miles away, so we'll be seeing kind of our next town is actually the town of Ripon or Ripon. I don't know how you say it, but we're going to kind of keep our eyes peeled for that as well. Yeah, I guess that could potentially be the tracks that we're looking for. I'm going to follow them. We're just going to kind of see where it takes us.
They got a low-wing hibernating Cherokee, mild south of this, drop your wings. Alright, nice rocks there, awesome job. Continue following the railroad tracks northeast bound for right base. Runway 9er, monitor tower 118.5 with Oshkosh.
I tell you what, I think this is the town of Risk. That's a road, not a railroad track.
And it's going to fly 315 miles southwest.
But I'm going to get our...
I'm sorry, second.
Okay, we're level at 1800 roughly.
Fly to 315 miles southwest, fly to 3 Cubs.
Fly to 3 after Port Ripon.
Information Bravo is saying we're still in pretty good shape. 10 statute miles of viz. We've got an altimeter 2985. See, all right, 2985. Let's get that set in here. 2985. Okay, so that's got us a little bit low actually. Raise it up just a hair. Okay, so now we are on the lookout for the railroad tracks. If this is the town of Ripon, we should, and actually, you know what? Actually, I don't think it is because I don't see Green Lake over there. Well, what is that? That is potentially... That's too far away. Green Lake is right next to Ripon. So this must be, let's see. Oh, well, I guess we do have a town. Yeah, we do have. We went here. We kind of followed these tracks up, and we do have a town of Waupun I forgot about. So we should have some tracks that are heading out to the northwest. Let's go ahead and see if we can locate them. Kind of got a feeling that that is what that is right there. So, and we are heading slightly northwest. Well, let's see if that guy keeps. Yeah, it's kind of angling its way over a little bit, isn't it? Otherwise, this is the guy we need to follow. Well, I take that back. We also have this guy here. This may be our track. Hard to tell. I've got road traffic turned way down, so you don't see cars driving. I don't really model trains on this deal, so it's a little bit of a guessing game. But I think we are. We're in the neighborhood here. All right, we need to hold 1800 here. We're getting back down. We're getting down to 90, which is good. We don't have to quite be there just yet. We're still 21 miles away from Oshkosh. Let's get ourselves back up to 1800. And the nice thing about the Skylane, of course, well, the nice thing about all these types of airplanes is you have time. You have time to kind of evaluate, see what's around the next corner. You know, we're not in a Phenom 300 today. All right, there's 1800. We'll level it off. We'll see where our speed ends up. If we're a little quick right now, I can live with that. You know, and looking at SkyVector information here, so Ripon is 10 and 16 miles away. So this next town coming up, that looks too small. And again, I don't see Green Lake. I don't see the lake. That's the main thing. Perhaps the lake is... Let's see. Are there any other towns here that I could potentially be running into? I don't think so. I don't see anything on the SkyVector map. Is that a road or tracks? Hard telling, folks. Hard telling. All these gravel roads look the same. Well, if this was Ripon, I'd have a distinct pair of tracks running out to the northeast, and it's not. So this is a little unmarked town here, somewhere between Waupun and Ripon. And we're going to continue on because, again, I do not see... Uh-oh, now I paused a little bit here. Don't you... Okay. We will see Green Lake here just off to our left when we get closer to Ripon. That's looking like a little bit bigger community. Still not happy that this is looking a little bit more like the railroad. This is what I am more familiar with seeing. It just wasn't super well defined as we were looking at coming in here. But alright, and again, hey, there we go. There's Green Lake. Okay, so I'm feeling much better about things. We are at 1,800. We're a little quick. Back off the power ever so slightly. I don't see any aircraft really that I can identify and follow visually, but let's take a look at the madness here. This is so cool. Look at this. So we are rolling in here. There we are. These guys are coming in. I don't know what an 8 CAB is. What is an 8 CAB? I have no idea if it's the same type of plane. Champion aircraft.
Red and white color, maybe?
What the crap is it? I have never heard of that. That's Super Decathlon.
Actually, continue following the railroad tracks northeast bound.
Oh, hey, that looks like something similar to what we have. So I think if those guys are out in front of us, that looks like a pretty cool plane, actually. I need to research that one some more. But if those guys actually end up out in front of us, I think we could follow them in, and that would be perfectly appropriate. here is Tim Morgan, who, of course, has not identified his aircraft, so we have no idea what he is. That's, yeah, not good, but he may be somebody else. Here's a T210.
Be too busy tonight, but if you need to do any S turns, side by sides, or over unders, it's not going to work. Break up
So
the
we're going
approach and then start
to keep
getting
our eyes
off.
peeled. Potentially, that might be some aircraft out there. Looks like a bigger aircraft though, like a wide body. Yeah, like a.
Flight 3, correction, Flight 2, River.
All right, so we're gonna just kind of see. I don't know. Maybe that's just a. That could just be my auto.
It's running 9, but
My aircraft AI just could be rendering that as like a 737 or something. There comes some more aircraft, and so we're gonna have a little decision to make here. I'm actually a little closer to the turn, and so they may have to follow me. I think that's how that works. I don't know. We'll find out. Because this is definitely where we want to be. This is the right. There's Green Lake. This is Rush Lake. We're going to be grabbing the. I've lost the railroad tracks, but we'll pick them up here pretty soon. They shoot kind of out this way.
If you're flying the VFAR arrival, just proceed on the arrival, and they'll give you instructions over Fisk.
Okay, we're going to monitor. We're going to find out. We're going to have fun. We're going to see. This guy here, yeah, he's moving a lot faster than me. Maybe that is.
Our aircraft now, Oshkosh landing ways 27 and 36, winds 300 at 5, and pages 8 and 11 of the NOTAMs from Lake 27 and 36 now.
Cool. All right. Oh boy, that guy's fast. Holy cow, those two guys right there. Yeah. All right, they're faster than me, so I'm okay to follow. Oh, there's my railroad tracks. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's turn, heading northeast, baby. Did I just hit some wake turbulence from those guys? Is that kind of the shaking that I felt? No, that can't be. They were too far away, weren't they? All right, so you see what I mean? Those are pretty distinctive, easy to pick out railroad tracks. Oh yeah, I just must have flew right through his wake turb. Crazy. All right, so I got to get behind him. And I'm a little fast, so I got to slow down. I'm about a half mile in trail, so that's good. And you're not supposed to be beside them. You're supposed to be behind them. Their scenery, that might be right where the railroad tracks are. It's hard telling, but I'm going to hold 990 and 1,800. I feel like they are faster aircraft, though, because, and again, it might just be that they are. Well, alright. If it's a blank white CRJ, then that just is something that I don't recognize. There is the other champion. So I think that's the flight of 2, and that's good for me to follow those guys. Although they should be not next to each other. They should be one after the other. But let's don't slow down too much. We want to make sure that we don't hose the guy behind us. Pick our speed back up. Alright, this is going to be fun. I'm excited about this. Where are my railroad tracks? Darn it. There they are. Okay, we're on, and we're just going to kind of follow them as well. So, okay.
Got a high wing Cessna mile south of Fisk now. Rock your wings. Looks like a Skyhawk red and white in color, miles south of Fisk. Rock your wings.
That's not us. We're a little further away.
And/or ident. There you go. Great rock, sir. Awesome job. Continue following the railroad tracks northeast bound for a right. Actually, it'll be for a right downwind runway.
There's my tracks.
Monitor tower 118.5. Welcome to Oshkosh.
Speed's a little quick. Slow it down. No, don't. You're not supposed to read back. Habits, right? Alright, speed's a little quick. Just can't quite get that
Push aircraft inbound Oshkosh now landing runway 2 and 3, pages 8 and 11 as a notice. Approach starts at Ripon, stay Ripon, you'll follow an aircraft of similar type and similar speed, a half mile in trail along the railroad track.
Here's what he's talking about.
Instructions over.
On the railroad track, we got to come back around to runway 27. So at one point we were thinking we'd be coming straight in to runway 9er, but the winds have changed. Let's see what it looks like here. Oh baby, look at this. Look at this. There we are. There's the flight of 2. Guys coming behind us. Got some sky lanes. Got a 210, which they all should be okay as far as holding their speed and their altitude. I'm staying on my tracks. They're getting a little skinnier here. Sorry about that. We should start to see the airfield over here in just a little bit, actually. And since we are landing runway 27, I'm going to turn this baby around. Again, that'll help us with fly our traffic pattern. Little guy alert. He's very good. He's a very good co-pilot. And he's really, really good at barrel rolling and nose diving. So I'm gonna go ahead and let him be the pilot monitoring for now. Ooh, we're getting a little too slow. Kind of getting the nose up a little bit, which is making it tougher to see the tracks.
If I have you in sight, a mile south of if you want, you can rock your wings. And if you still want 27, follow the railroad tracks northeast bound inside the gravel pit for a right downwind runway 27. Monitor the tower 118.5 from Oshkosh.
Alright, that's that group ahead of us, so we should be next.
Fifth level, blue high wing, with the question.
Go ahead.
Just to confirm, the runway 27 hour ago.
Affirmative, runway 27 and 36 in use, pages 8 and 11, nothing notice.
Alright, I think they've drifted a little too far. I think this is still the runway, or the railroad tracks here that we want. I could be wrong.
I got a Cessna, high wing Cessna, quarter mile south of this now. White, maybe Skylane, quarter mile south of this, rock your wings. Yeah, great rock, sir. Continue following the railroad tracks northeast bound for right downwind runway 27. Monitor the tower 118.5. Welcome to Oshkosh.
Alright, 1185. 1185. We will monitor. And we're going to follow those tracks. And there's our runway. So that's cool. And there's the approach track. Yeah, they're just a little bit, I think. But again, it just depends on your scenery. So, we don't want to overtake them, though, because if we do, we're going to be sent back around. And here's the cue. So if I screw up here, I could be sent all the way back around, and I don't want that. Those guys are all getting lined up nicely, just like they should. Awesome. We're on the railroad tracks. We're a little bit fast. We're going to slow it down a little, and I think we're going to go ahead and just enjoy the flight here. Hand fly this guy. See if we can't execute. The weather has broken, which is awesome. If you were with us from the beginning, it was a little dicey out of Chicago Executive. In fact, it probably was not legal what we attempted, but we were able to kind of punched through some storms, and then once we got about halfway, the weather cleared to the
My
east.
flight is 2, you're clear to land on my 27 orange dot.
Alright. Anyway, weather cleared, and it's been just an awesome flight since then. So appreciate you hanging with us, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. And I say that before I attempt my landing, because that can make a big difference. But let's see what happens here. Looks like one guy's maybe breaking off a little bit here. I don't know exactly what's going on. Swinging it a little bit wider, maybe, to give his partner a little bit of room. See if they
Definitely just saying you can pull left off into the marsh, which the parking go by.
see if they
213.
require you to land on one of the dots. That's where it's going to get really tricky for me. This is scenery from the flight lounge, and you can see the different colored dots on the airfield. That's way cool. Red, green, and white. Oops, we're losing a little bit of altitude here. We don't want to do that just yet.
We got a high wing Cessna just crossing. He's out, figure about the gravel pit. You're clear to land on my 27 green, or orange dot. You can hop.
Orange dot, okay. Let's see, that's the, which one is that? I think that's the first one. Well, let's get on the downwind here, and then we can take a peek. Boy, he is taking it wide, wide, wide. Where is he going? Okay, yep. Orange, green, then white. One of the guys is coming in. I don't know if that first guy has just decided to, I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. I'm cleared to land, so I'm going to go ahead. We're going to put a notch of flaps in right here, and keep an eye on that guy, and just if he makes his turn in, I guess I'll let Tower sort us out. We're a beam, so speed's coming down. And is he making his turn? Maybe.
So right, you're at high wing. You just passed the numbers. I'm sorry. You just passed up window door runway. You're clear to land. Orange dot on my 27.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and do it.
Going to land full stop, blue high wing system.
No, I think that was me.
On the ILS, you take the placement runway.
Hey, buddy. I don't know what you have there. Okay, this is all of a sudden got interesting because I need to make a tight turn to final.
The comfort taxi shouldn't be with me. It should be with the other guy.
Hey, buddy. All right, here we go. Oh, getting a little slow here.
I got a 172. Looks like you just got almost at the gravel pit. You're clear to land. Orange dot runway 27.
Orange dot 27. That's where I'm going. Oh boy. This is a little bit more like what I've seen in the videos. Alright, we're kind of high. Probably a little too close, but whoa, boy. Alright.
Well, if you know where the orange dot is, can you roughly approximate it? That would be beautiful.
Here we go. Oops.
Yeah, no, we're just rushing you. We landed a few minutes ago, and just, you got one side of there. It's been scenery.
And we're going to be pretty close. Yeah, not half bad. I will take that. I will take that. Now, I don't know where we're supposed to park.
On a high wing Cessna, turning onto the downwind for and on the orange dot.
Orange dot.
The 2 Cessna's in the roll. 2 Cessna's in the roll. Left onto the solid marsh towards the parking. Welcome.
All right, left turn here. There is no marshaller, but
Just confirm for the Cessna on with for the orange dot, please go ahead.
we'll join the Cessna party over here. There's a tail dragger of some sort. That must be the champion. And again, my
Low wind piper at the gravel pit. You're clear to land 27 orange dot.
my AI doesn't recognize it, so. But I want to do this. I want to face the runway for a little bit here because I kind of want to watch some of these landings. Let's get over here by the other. I don't know if it's a sky lane or what it is, but we're going to come right here and kind of pull up next to our guys, and I think right there is going to be good for us. Got my little guy running around here. I see you, buddy. He really wants to help. We're going to clean up. Oh, he's going to go ahead and pull the mixture back. Pull that one down, buddy. He'll help me shut down. I'll turn all that stuff off. And we'll stay here for just a little bit. We'll kind of hop outside and maybe just watch some landings here. This ought to be kind of fun. Thanks, dude. You're a good helper. If you're in the air, good luck. I'm looking forward to it. Al South checking in. Hey, good to see you, man. Actually, I had a halfway decent landing. Was a little bit of an iffy approach, but uh-oh. Is that us? We need to clean our flaps up. Nope. My grandson wants to leave it full flaps. That's okay. There's a guy coming in to park by us. So we're just kind of watching the arrivals now into runway 27, and just enjoying the show. Hi, buddy. You want to watch too? All right, come on up. Watch these guys. They know what they're doing. So he's, as Mikey McBride would say, he's enhancing the audio. Let's see. Let me try something, buddy. What do we do? What happens if we do this?
Follow the marsh to park and fly in Cessna. Thank you.
Airplanes, yeah, buddy. Yeah, man. Let's see if this view is any more interesting. Al, I hope you had a good day, man. Oh, where is this? Is this a VatSim event? Yeah, this is the VatSim event into Oshkosh. It's called VatVenture. Uh-oh, Mama looks like she's on a mission. He's doing good. Unless you need him. Okay, yeah, we're good. But yeah, it's we flew from Chicago Executive up to Oshkosh, and it's kind of doing it's kind of replicating the real world fly in. Oh, now we're zooming in. That's camera work courtesy of my grandson right there. He's liking the view from behind here. So first thing we need to do, let's make sure we do this. Let's get everything turned off, because I will run out the battery. Oh, it's more camera work for my grandson. So yeah, Al, it is a VatSim event, and it was a ton of fun. It was a lot of hold on. It was a lot of weather early, and now it's just like a ton of traffic, which is kind of what you hope for in an event like this. And so yeah, comes a Mooney. But yeah, if you check out the VatUSA.net page, you'll see the details there, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of very qualified ATC, and yeah, it's a GA event, and so you know Oshkosh, you're familiar with that. But if you watch some of the YouTube videos on the Fisk arrival, that's what we're simulating here. And so you pick up everybody flies to this town called Ripon, and it's got a railroad that runs through it, and you follow the railroad, and you just monitor. I'm getting a lot. Hey, hold on, dude. Here, go chase the dog for a minute. Scoot. Anyway, you monitor the approach frequency, and they tell you to wag the wings when they call you, and so you simulate that. Although you just push ident. You don't actually wag your wings because I don't think they can really see that. And then you monitor tower, and they tell you which dot to land on. So, like for example, this scenery has the orange, the green, and the white dot. Yeah, those will poke you, buddy. You don't want to play with those. So we were cleared to land on the orange dot, but like in the real world, they'll land some planes almost simultaneously. They'll land somebody on the orange dot, and then they'll have somebody else cleared right behind them because you're only a half a mile in trail, and they'll clear the next person to the green dot and the next person to the to the white dot, and then they have marshalers just all throughout the grass area. And I don't think we parked correctly. I honestly don't know which way you park, if you face north, south, or east, west. But anyway, yeah. So that's the whole deal. Is just simulating that, and yeah, it was fun. It was a good time, and it looked like it was pretty well attended. I don't know if the weather scared people off, but even right now there's still 37 arrivals coming. So if you hopped on somewhere, you could be a part of it. Yeah, we took off here from Chicago Executive, and this nastiness was all around us. We kind of fought our way straight north. Ripon is over here somewhere, and then it's sort of cool. You'll see everybody you're supposed to pair up with somebody that's about the same speed as you, and you're supposed to maintain half-mile trail. And then when you get to Fisk, which is about right here, you'll either be cleared to head in on the Fisk Avenue transition or the railroad transition. Since they're landing also on runway 36, everybody's been cleared north of the airfield on the railroad approach. But yeah, that's kind of what you see as you look at the NOTAM. And yeah, it was fun. It's my first time doing it, so I'm pretty happy, and it was a lot of fun. I need to get more experience before I join you on one of those adventures. Yeah, well, hey, man, I'm always up for a flight, as you know, and so just let me know. You can contact me via Discord. I've got the information kind of down at the bottom of the stream information there, and love to. I maybe already have connected with you on Discord. I'm not sure if I have. I apologize, but that's probably the best way to reach out. And always fun to mess around with that kind of stuff, and just do some group flights and fly around. And this actually was pretty chill. I mean, it's nothing like the real world where they've just got hundreds of aircraft coming in at all times, and this one was much more doable. Just right, I think. Not too crazy, but plenty of action. So, but anyway, I think we're gonna go ahead and kind of wrap it up. I've got a little guy I haven't seen him for a while, so we're gonna go hang out a little bit. I gotta go check on my wife, who's upstairs resting from her procedure, and yeah, so it was fun to sneak away for a little bit. Hope you guys have a fantastic remainder of your Saturday, and yeah, we'll see you on TCAS. Take care. God bless.